Do something today that your future self will thank you for. This is Wright Brennan with the Lost in the Midlands podcast, brought to you by Midlands Dumpster Services and Seawright Roofing. And today I am here with an entrepreneur, a professional networker, a family business owner, badass female CEO, Susan Boyd of Lee's Insurance Agency. Thanks for hanging out today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Heck yeah, I am fired up to dive into the story of y'all's business. I know this is a generational business and you guys are rocking. But before we talk about that, let's hear a little bit about your background, kind of what has led you to.
So my background was a stay-at-home mom initially. We have a daughter, and when she was about 2 years old, needed to get some stuff done. I'm a busybody. I'm not one to just sit around. So homemaker was not my ultimate dream, although I do give lots of kudos for those ladies.
It's a full-time job.
It's totally a full-time job. It is. But I like to work.
Yeah.
But I wanted to also be able to stay at home and take care of my daughter as well.
Absolutely.
So I've always been a business owner, whether I was doing something out of my house or doing something on a part-time basis. I've always been kind of doing my own thing. But when we moved here to South Carolina, which was about 9 years ago, this is where all my family is. And this is where, I spent a lot of my growing up time, and my husband's prior military, so we spent a lot of time in Virginia. I wanted to kind of escape back to, South Carolina and be in the Midlands and around family.
Yeah.
But I had lost a lot of my business contacts. So I was kind of starting over fresh.
Nice.
And that's a little scary. So my mom, who had started our agency over 30 years ago, she was looking squarely at retirement in the next few years and wanted to know if I would kind of come and work with her and help her out. And I dove in and I grasped the insurance industry wholeheartedly. I enjoyed it. My favorite part is working with people. Yeah. I always want to put people in a better place than where they are now.
Yeah.
And after a couple of years, started working with her, and she said, "Hey, do you want to take over the agency?" Because she wanted to retire, and she didn't have a lot of options, either to sell it or to give it to someone that she knows and trusts. And she knows that I'm going to take care of her clients, and that was very important. And that's kind of how I ended up taking over the agency, being where I am today.
Yeah.
And we have a great client base, and we know our people. We have great relationships with them. They know us and they trust us, and they come back to us every year, and they refer their friends and their family. So you can't ask for more than that.
Proof's in the pudding. When the friends and family come knocking to, you're doing something right.
That's it.
So that's fantastic. Well, I want to ask a little bit about kind of the lead up. Like, what was it like when you had to make that decision to, take the helm? Was it a tough decision, or were you thinking for a year, man, I can't wait to take the helm of this?
It was a little bit of a tough decision, I would think, because, there's a lot of responsibility that comes along with running a business.
Yeah.
There's a lot of material out there. There's not a handbook on how to be a successful business owner. So all I did was focus on being a good agent, treating people well, doing the best for my clients, and giving them the best recommendations that I possibly could.
Right.
And that kind of grew itself. Of course, my mom's a little old school. She didn't have website, online presence. And so there was a lot of building up that we had to do from that level. Yeah. And I think we've got a great team working together. I mean, it's all family, so which can have pluses and minuses. But it's been a real benefit and very fulfilling.
I'm always so impressed with the family business owner leader. I mean, the without the family element, the leadership challenges, the challenges of just operating a family any business is already extremely difficult. And then you throw in the fact that, you got like overlapping relationships you got to deal with.
True.
Can you tell me how, and some people are just fantastic at it. They know how to can you compartmentalize stuff? Is that kind of how you're able to operate?
Somewhat. I'm kind of a solo person. My husband says I have tunnel vision, so I'll get in my lane and I'm working, and
Heck yeah.
and he's like, "Well, how can I help? What can I do today?" And
Just don't get in the way.
right, exactly. Delegation is very difficult for me sometimes because
Yeah.
I'm so used to handling everything, and it's like, okay, let me pull out a little bit here and take some time and show you what you can do to help us today.
Well said. Yeah, that makes sense. This is Wright Brennan, the owner of C. Wright Roofing. When it comes to the maintenance of your roof, you want to know that you have an experienced team that knows what they're doing. And with 10 years in the business, we check all the boxes. Leaky roof, storm damage, or just overdue on maintenance, give us a call at 803-828-4181 for a free estimate. Again, that's 803-828-4181. And remember, our commitment is to roof it the right way. Open enrollment. Actually, before we get to open enrollment, tell me about the products. Like, what specific are we selling? What type of stuff?
We have kind of some three primary legs to our business. We work in the Medicare space, so
Yeah.
anybody who is turning 65 is 65. We do help. I help navigate them through that whole process where they're signing up for Medicare A and B.
Yeah.
They get a lot of information in the mail. And the government says, oh, here, it's a book about 2 inches thick. Go ahead and read through that and figure it out. So we boil it down into what are your choices, what do you need to do, and which direction is going to be the best for you, because it's not a one-size-fits-all. So I go into detail with my clients about what their needs are and what they what makes them comfortable and what they're going to be best suited for as far as a plan. So Medicare is one space that we deal in. Individual is another one. We are, like I said, in the open enrollment time frame, so we'll discuss a little bit on that. But we help those folks get medical coverage for themselves, for their family.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I work in the group space, so with employers, helping them find affordable solutions for benefits for their employees.
Awesome. And you mentioned open enrollment. Let's talk about the window.
Okay. Individual open enrollment started November 1st and goes through December 15th.
Every year?
Every year. And those people who sign up and make changes during that time frame, they take effect on January 1.
Okay.
There's a secondary open enrollment that allows you to make changes through January 15th. Anything done during that time frame will take effect on February 1. So even if you miss that initial deadline and you can't get stuff done by January, we can definitely get you set up for February.
There's still opportunity. Interesting.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, that is a secret that I don't think everybody knows. Everybody knows like a lot of people understand the open enrollment like that.
Well, the carriers, Blue Cross, they've been really good about advertising it and sending out notices to all the members just to remind them, hey, this is your opportunity this year to make some changes in your plan. If you don't make changes, then you have to wait till next year.
Awesome. If somebody's at home and they're interested in, getting insurance, checking things out, one option, I guess, is just to go to the internet. And,
Sure.
And then another option is to actually use someone to help to use an agent. So you have, internet. What are the differences? Like, where are you going to find value in coming to an agent?
So an agent is going to give you a lot of the guidance and insight that you're not going to get on your own in the internet. There's a lot of networks, even within Blue Cross themselves. They have several different plans that maybe excludes Prisma Health, or maybe you can only go to MUSC.
Yeah.
And if you're not working with an agent that can give you that base of knowledge and help you find a plan that's going to fit for you, you're going to get a surprise when you go to the doctor and they say, oh, I'm sorry, we're not in network with your insurance. Or maybe you go to the pharmacy to pick up a medication and it's like, oh, your medication's not on the covered drug formulary. So
Surprise.
That's it. It's a surprise. So
Another headache.
Exactly. And then you're stuck in that plan until next year and you can't make a change.
One small mistake is not easily fixable.
And something I like to make sure everybody's aware of, using an agent does not cost you anything at all. You don't pay any more for your plan by using an agent than you do by going out on your own. But you do have the value and the access to the knowledge that we provide.
That's interesting. It is you really there's no addition. You don't have to like stack a fee on top of whatever the.
That's it. There's no additional cost. It's a benefit. It's an advisor. It's like a financial advisor, except you don't pay us.
They want you. Basically, it sounds like they want you to use an agent. Hey, let's make some good decisions here.
Right.
Let's not mess this up.
They want you to be happy in your plan, and
Yeah.
that's the best way to do it.
That makes a lot of sense. Cool. What advice would you give to someone who wants to come into your field, who's interested in becoming an agent?
You have to love people. You absolutely have to love people. You have to care about them and their family members, and you have to do your due diligence in finding out what their needs are when it comes to health insurance. There's a lot of testing that we do every year, especially in the Medicare space. Most people don't realize that every carrier that we represent requires us to take a test with them. And the federal government requires us to test every year. So there's going to be a lot of homework, a lot of classwork for you. So if you don't like that, then maybe this isn't your field.
Right.
But first and foremost, you got to care about people, and you got to care about them, their family members, and be putting them in a better space.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. It's a big commitment to jump in. It's not an easy field to just understand. For one, it seems like there's so many ins and outs. I mean,
and it changes every year. That's one of the things that I learned quite rapidly when I first got in is like, you think you've got a hold on all the knowledge. Yeah, I got this. We're good to go. And then open enrollment comes around and the training comes around. It's like, oh, hey, we got to change for you this year.
It's like being an accountant.
Every
year. Well, that leads my next question. What's coming? What's down? Can you tell? Do you have any insight into what may be changing?
Well, I don't have any specifics right now. Everything's pretty well set.
Yeah.
We get our changes. We learn about those during September, October timeframe before the open enrollment really kicks in. I know that the Blue Cross has come out with a couple of different plans with different networks, like the Congaree Network, the PD, the Reedy Network.
Cool.
All of those were developed to kind of make those plans a little bit more affordable for folks, but they do narrow the networks. So some of their providers are not going to be included, so you need to double check that. That's very important.
Yeah.
Also, there are new health insurance carriers coming to South Carolina, and they're jumping into the individual market space, but they're HMOs. So that's very restrictive. That's a health maintenance organization, and you have to check to make sure that your doctor or your hospital is in network, or again, you're going to be stuck in that plan for a year without having access to care.
Makes sense. Awesome. If somebody's interested, how do they get a hold of you? Where do we find your information?
The best way is to go to our website,
Okay.
leesinsuranceagency.com. Don't forget the S. It's LEES, insuranceagency.com. You'll see a little bit about our business on our homepage, but there's also something that we've installed this recently is a link to my calendar. So if you want a free consultation, just have a conversation, you can book a time on my calendar, and we can have a phone call and see how we can help you and put you in a better space.
So if somebody wants to set up an appointment, your calendar's ready to be
Absolutely.
Scheduled in.
It's absolutely available.
What about, you have an office phone?
We do. Phone number for the office is 803-739-6453. If you call and I don't pick up the phone, it's probably going to be my husband Barry that picks up the phone, and he will put you right on my calendar if I'm not available at the moment.
Barry, making it happen. We appreciate you, sir, and all your service, and thank you for coming on today. It's exciting to have you on to hear about y'all's awesome family business.
I really appreciate it, Wright.
Thank you. Hey everyone, many thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, give us a follow and click the bell to stay up to date on future episodes, or click the link to watch another previous episode. Also, don't forget to like, share, and please leave us a comment. We'd love to hear your feedback.